Hi there, welcome to another conversation on the Supplement Podcast. Really looking forward to this one. I am here with Cam. Hi.
It's
Cam's first time
on the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really happy and excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
And we've got this side.
We've got
Joy.
Hey, at least we have joy today, eh?
We expect a really good time. And we've got the regular. My name is Wanga, and you
Craig,
are the regular.
thank you.
Craig
That's good.
Clark. Really looking forward to the conversation. We've been talking around mercy and some of that stuff. So I'm going to hop over to you, Craig, and we can start the chat.
Wanga. I'm encouraged because in our quest for hearing God and wanting to know what we should be praying for in this upcoming month prayer night, so that's coming up first Wednesday next week, we felt like we would take it out of Daniel chapter 2, which is where I'm finding myself. I think we're finding the church in this journey through Daniel. And one of the interesting things that comes up here, just maybe for a little bit of context to help us, Daniel chapter 1, it's all about him being trained up in the ways of the Chaldeans, and the chapter ends that Daniel and his three friends find themselves 10 times better, or God has given them this knowledge that 10 times better than anyone else. And then the next chapter is when Nebuchadnezzar gets this dream of which he can't explain. He doesn't have the interpretation to it. And Daniel, and then all the wise men are going to be killed because they can't tell Nebuchadnezzar what the dream is. I mean, this is not just about give me the interpretation. They're saying, tell us the dream, we'll interpret it. And he's going, no, I'm not going to tell you the dream. You tell me the dream.
I would have been scared.
Yeah.
If I were them, I'd be like, oh my
It's
goodness.
like- And so Daniel hears about this because they arrive at his door to go like, okay, you guys are going to die. And then he goes back to his friends, and verse 17, it says, then Daniel went to his house and made the matter known to his three friends. I think there is a great truth that we can look at, is that when there is a matter that is pressing, a crisis, a difficulty, where's the first place we run? Very seldom do we run to the house of the Lord, to our friends, to those that are with us in this thing. We run to many different places.
That's a great observation.
Yeah, and then he says, and he told them to seek mercy from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, so that Daniel and his companions might not be destroyed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. And I think the thing that captured me was why, in a moment, you would ask your friends to go and seek mercy. Why would you not go and say, hey guys, let's seek the dream. Let's seek the revelation. Let's go and ask God to give us the dream. Let's go, which I think is a natural thing for us, isn't it? We end in a crisis. We got a difficulty. We can't unravel the crisis that we're in. We can't unravel the crisis we may have even made, whatever that is in life, whether it's financial or relational. We want answers. And we ask, oh God, give me provision. Oh God, give me revelation. Oh God, give me whatever that is.
It is very strange that he went with mercy instead
Yeah.
of the exact thing that he was actually needing, which is the interpretation for the dream, or rather the dream actually.
Yes.
So you could interpret it.
interesting.
So it's a bit like we are programmed to go to the fruit, not the root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're programmed to go to the answer, not the question, in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in our modern day world, what I see a lot is we limit God, and Daniel didn't limit God here. He looked so much further than, we need the dream, give us the dream, the instant answer. He just asked for mercy.
Yeah. And I also think what's quite interesting is that we describe God as merciful. So it's a core of who he is. And that's the thing, as you were saying, Craig, they weren't going directly to the dream, they're going directly to God.
Yeah.
Mercy is a core of who he is.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's what they were seeking in that moment. Yeah.
So I think that's captured my kind of spirit, heart, the questions that I'm looking. And in that we felt like, well, As a church, as we look at what should we pray into, should we be asking God for the solution? Oh God, give us a better government. Oh God, should we give us a greater investment? Or, and yes, we need those things, but maybe we should be saying, let's go and seek mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what would that mean then?
Yeah.
Because I think that starts the question of, well, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So that's part of the process of this podcast, coming out of that. So depending on when you listen to this, it's either just to preach on Sunday or post-preach. So I'm going to point people to this so that we can have a sort of a deep dive into mercy, this podcast. So that's really the essence.
Looking forward to
So
excited.
if I had to then just pose a question to you guys and to those listening or watching, when you hear the word mercy, what comes to mind? What's the kind of like first thing when you hear the word mercy? What comes to mind?
Compassion. I think that's the first word that comes to my mind. Yeah.
I think for me, it's you've made a big mess
Yeah.
and you need something bigger than you to fix it. That's when I think mercy, I think it's so beyond me.
Yeah. You've been caught in a speed trap and you ask the traffic guard, please have mercy on me.
Let's not go there because that's very true. Yeah, definitely that.
Well, I think I'm the only unspiritual one here. But the thing that comes to mind, because you say the first thing is my mom. My mom's name is Mercy.
That's funny. That's a good one.
But there's this song we sing, Goodness and Mercy. They follow me from Psalm 23. But anyways, my mom has a friend and her name is Goodness. So every time we sing that song, I'm like, goodness and mercy.
You got goodness and mercy.
I'm like, I don't want goodness and mercy following me around. So that's kind of my thinking.
Yeah.
But Psalm 23 on a serious note.
Well, I think that what I want to try and do, and that is to redefine mercy in a modern day world, because I think it, like most things, they tend to become words mean some other things, like words that I've used in, for years. Next thing I'm told by either my kids or by you younger guys, you can't use that word anymore, Craig, because it now relates to something else.
It's always changing.
It is,
literally.
So, and I think that we need to, in a way, redefine mercy in our modern world, because I think that sometimes mercy is kind of put into the old-fashioned category or to a religious place.
That is true.
It's like, oh, that's a religious term or an old-fashioned term. And I get that, but I think that as a new modern world starts seeking God, I wonder if God's not lifting this word mercy, but it's not just the word, isn't it? It's the very character and nature of God. So maybe we could define mercy a little bit in terms of what dictionaries define it as, and it's the undeserved kindness and compassion and forgiveness. It's the compassion, kindness, and forgiveness that's undeserved, that's given to us. Okay,
So that's dictionary.
so that's kind of a simplified definition. Someone has said it, a choice to hold back. Hold back what was deserved. So you're saying, hey, when I'm in a crisis, I've done something stupid or I've sinned in that, is that we can receive mercy. So it's holding back judgment of which I should have got. You
I
know?
think that's the one that most of us will probably relate to, is that mercy is holding back judgment when I would assume most people think I don't need mercy until I've done something wrong.
Well, there's an interesting thought, because did mankind need mercy before we fell? So did Adam and Eve in the garden, before they rebelled against God, did they need mercy?
What I think is the answer is probably not the answer. I want to say no, but I know the answer is yes.
Okay, let's go with that and say no, because
It was perfect. Yeah.
So then did mercy only present itself after sin, or was mercy always there?
Well, if you go with Cam's definition of nature and character of God.
Yeah, because I think when I think of compassion, that's what I associated mercy with. I'm sure even before the fall, there was still compassion in God's nature. I don't know. That's just
it's like
just what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a tough
we're
one.
not theologians, but
Yeah.
at least we're stirring some
Yeah.
thought processes.
I think for me, I would think of it from the perspective that the provision of mercy was always there from God.
Yeah.
But we didn't necessarily, at the time, maybe need it exercised when we think of Adam and Eve. And then obviously after the fall, or when we've made a mistake, that provision is kind of
was always there but hidden.
Yes, it was hidden.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
So that brings me to another question. Just let's go wild.
Let's go.
So in other words, let's say it was like that. Is that mankind didn't need mercy, but God, mercy is a character nature of God. It's who He is. He's merciful. He's kind. He's compassionate. And let's just pause there quickly. Put it in brackets while we go down another rabbit warren. But the very thing that when Moses says, I want to see you, Lord, and he says, okay, I'll see you. I'm going to hide you in the cleft of the rock. And then he says, I'll cause all my goodness to pass by you.
That's so good, yeah.
And then when it happens, he says, here I am, I'm merciful. The very first, let's say, exposure of God to Moses was merciful. Okay, so we're saying He's merciful. So mankind needed, and we needed mercy, which we got. And that was hidden before the fall, but then only revealed after. The fall.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is still hidden in God that has not been revealed?
Wow.
That's quite a question. Can we ask ChatGPT?
Can I call a friend?
Can we ask ChatGPT?
What else of God do you? Let's ask another question.
Like right now.
Do you think right now there's much in God that is hidden that is not revealed?
I'm sure there is. I don't know if I can list what it is, but I'm sure there is.
Okay, so why would that be? Because of His infinite nature.
Yeah. That's probably what I would say.
It's true.
Yeah.
So we think, even the greatest theologian, or all the theologians, including ChatGPT and everything, still has not found the fullness of who God is. Because He's infinite, so there's going to be a whole lot more that we know. So I think what that does for me is goes like, you can't put God in a box.
Yeah.
I don't
You
think
can't
so,
define it. And we can't define mercy. I should have said this up front. We're talking about mercy, but it's inadequate for us to define mercy as that. Undeserved kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. Because I think it's so much more.
What's also exciting with what you just said, with the question you asked, what else hasn't
been revealed about God?
Yeah, but I think even with the word mercy that we're talking about, there's probably layers to that haven't we haven't even touched the surface of in a broader context, and also probably in a personal context as you are watching this, which gets exciting for me.
Yeah, because and that just let's drill down a little bit, because I think one of the aspects of mercy, or a deep root of mercy, is this aspect of it being a restorative womb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that, in a way, for me, hadn't seen it until earlier this year. Was this? They both share the same root word in Hebrew, and this rachem or rachem, and it's this a protected space where new life begins, where growth happens at the right pace. So if you think of a womb, it's a very intimate place. It's a protected place, and it's a place where growth takes place at a certain rate, and you can't make it go faster or slower.
Can I actually
You've
ask...
got 9 months.
Yeah. Can I actually ask a question around that?
I don't know if I can answer it, but let's
I
go.
just
I
wanted
like
to pose
questions.
this.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we're saying it's a restorative womb. Is it to be in that restorative womb as believers, or... are you instantly in that when you go far from God? Do you have to have a hard posture of a certain way to be in that womb, or is it just ever present? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what you're asking is do we live in mercy, or do we access mercy when we need it?
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, probably both. Because I think that from a world perspective, if God wasn't merciful, I think this world would have been,
No, that's true.
thrown up. So I think that God holds the universe in his hands, and this in a way is the womb of God. He is producing whatever. So I think that we live in that, but I think specifically, if I had to go to Hebrews, because that's an interesting text, so we can just go to that. Hebrews chapter 4, it's one of my favorite texts.
Oh, Lambano.
Hey?
Is this the Lambano one?
Well, hey? No, it's... So, so Hebrew 4... 14, since then we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus the Son of God. Let us hold fast to our confession, for we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. So let us then, with confidence, draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace in a time of need. So there is a distinction between grace and mercy. So we need to understand that, because we've often said, I think in the Afrikaans word, sometimes genade is used interchangeably between grace and mercy, which it is two distinct differences. Maybe we should drill into that, but we can look at that. But we receive mercy, find grace. So mercy is received, grace is found. When in the time of need. So I think I'm answering the question to you is and then on the aspect is, when we look at God's grace, we know according to Lamentations that mercy is new every morning. So it's continuous, continually new, fresh every morning. It's eternal, and it's there for us to access, to receive. So mercy is received, it's not earned.
Yes.
Okay. Mercy is received, it's not found. Mercy is there, and it's able for us to grab a hold of. In fact, that word receive is the Greek word lambano, which means to take a hold of what is ours. So I think I've said it many times. Everybody,
but it's such a great... say it again. It's a great illustration.
The example of we were on a church camp, and the guys were playing soccer, and a little 3 or 4 year old ran onto the field, grabbed hold of the ball, ran off, and 22 players dropped to their knees begging for this 4-year-old to give them back the ball. And they go like, why would grown-ups beg a kid for the ball only because the ball belonged to the kid?
Wow.
So he ran onto the field and took what was his. Wow. That's lambano. And I think that many times we leave mercy on a field when it's actually ours to receive. And we don't go and grab a hold of it. And what I'm learning in this time is, and understanding that mercy is new every morning. There's this restorative womb. There's this womb. Even I think it's more than just a restorative womb. I think it's a womb of new beginning. And that can happen every day. And I like the word new beginning rather than a second chance, because we want a second chance. We play cricket in the backyard or whatever, a first ball grace, or as we used to say, or give me a second chance, know. And it's God is not in the business of giving a second chance, but a new beginning. And we can get a fresh beginning every morning, which is incredible.
It's incredible,
So that's, in a sense, I believe it's also restorative, in that there's a time and a space to do that. So we can dig into that a little bit more, but I don't know if that helps you.
100%.
And I think we need to go and receive it. Go and grab hold of it. And even if you're listening now, watching, is that don't leave mercy on a field. Go and grab hold of it every morning, so that we get to the fullness of that.
Yeah. I think for me, even what you're sharing, the question that popped into my mind is, what can mercy actually bring? Because when you're talking about mercy being new every morning, I think of the fact that there's hope in that. There's the restoration that you're talking about in that. There's a sense of, I think, also like healing, even in the new beginning. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we could ask that, is just go like, what is the restorative place or the fresh beginning of a womb? And we can look at that. It brings healing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best place for a baby to be.
Yeah.
But, so it's the best place for us. That God would heal us, restore us. Look, I think actually to begin with, the first thing we need to understand about mercy is forgiveness.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is nothing else other than, if we understand mercy as the first thing is we've already been forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't receive mercy if you haven't forgiven. You can't give mercy if if you haven't forgiven. So let's just bring it into can man, I know we're all over the place.
Yeah.
So
No, it's
good.
good.
I'm loving it.
I'm processing it as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but, like, if you say to me, Craig, give me mercy, I can't extend mercy to you unless I've forgiven you. If I'm holding a grudge against you or an issue, you will never get forgiveness.
But I think that also makes it very practical, because I think you were asking in the beginning, or just to unpack, how do we make it into a modern day thing?
Yeah.
And it starts there, like you're saying, with forgiveness. We sometimes go around a specific topic. We're going to ask for mercy, but what does that look like?
Yeah.
What are you actually asking for?
Yeah.
And are you able to even receive it? Because sometimes I think we can ask for things, but will we actually embrace it? I think when you were talking about the example of the little kid in the field, he runs on, he gets the ball. He didn't ask anyone. He knew it was there.
He just took
He
what
just
was
took what
his.
was his.
Yeah.
And then I think everybody now going to him and being like, hey, can we, asking.
It's good.
You have that expectation that the little kid will give you the ball, but you're still asking.
Yeah.
Because now the forgiveness kind of threw me in a whole nother thing. So if I haven't forgiven in an area or whatever, could God withhold mercy?
Sure.
Yeah, because I think it makes me think of the Beatitudes. What's it? Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. So I also wonder if there's a link there as well.
Yeah.
That through being merciful, you receive mercy as well. I don't know
Fascinating.
if that adding to
So
what you're
can
saying.
I tell you the next thing is that, how do I know I've forgiven? Or how do you know somebody's forgiven you? You will receive mercy. A fresh start, new beginning, trust, everything again. So people come and go like, I've forgiven you. Let's say we've had a thing, So how many times has it happened? Like you've had whatever. Not forgiven you. But you go like, okay, let's just see. Because forgiveness will lead to mercy, which will lead to a new beginning, which will lead to healing, restorative, trust, growth. But if it doesn't, you go like, I don't think there was forgiveness. Do you want to know if people have forgiven you? Or if you've forgiven others, so truly you will give them. People want a second chance. I say it's a fresh beginning. I forget about everything else and we start again every morning.
So then is mercy a choice or forgiveness a choice? Or is it a process?
Yeah, because
Wow, now we're going down forgiveness.
but people are going to ask about forgiveness.
Yeah.
You brought it up.
Most
It's
likely,
a
yeah.
heavy.
Well, then, but we've got to go back to God.
Yes.
Because so he is the ultimate example. So his character nature is one of, he is merciful. He's Raham. You can't, if you could cut God, he would bleed mercy. If you could, everything about him would be merciful, and mercy comes. So that's why, if that's who he is forgiving, and all of that then comes from love as well. So we don't receive mercy and forgiveness and healing without him
love.
being a loving God.
True.
Yeah.
So we start off with God is love.
Yeah.
And out of love, and that's why I think we've got to go, we'll keep going back. So how do we make sure that we give mercy to others and forgive, and that, well, it's love, and love holds no wrong. So if we really went back to 1 Corinthians 13, and we lived that out, we would forgive and we would be merciful. Because I want to get to how can we embody mercy in our day-to-day life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there has to be, and we have to answer the question, is it an action? Or is it more than that? So it is definitely, mercy comes because God's forgiven. And you know what? If that can sink into
No,
us,
that's such a beautiful truth.
because then how many of people live with the fact that God is angry at me, he doesn't forgive me, or he wants to judge me? Because remember, Jesus, I mean, we are just going all around here, but just remember, Jesus said to the Pharisees, go and find out that I seek mercy more than judgment. So God is not about judgment. He's not about coming to judge us. He's merciful. He's slow to anger. In other words, it's going to take him very long. But it does come to a point. That doesn't mean to say because he's merciful, he won't judge.
That's true.
But we get it the other way around. We think God is judging us, and so he won't give us mercy. But mercy comes way before judgment.
And I think, like, I'm only making the connections now, for me, even on a personal note. And going, I remember a time, more specifically with my dad, where there wasn't forgiveness in my heart for him.
Yeah.
Where there was clearly this kind of barrier because of history and all of that. And actually now looking back, like the day I made the choice, actually, because Jesus has forgiven me of so much, and because of the nature and character, and I understood forgiveness from God's perspective, and I forgave my dad, it brought together a new beginning, a new day,
Beautiful.
a restoration. And
that's a fantastic example. In fact, I couldn't think of a better one, because I even wrote up here, what would be a great easy example for that? And I think that's fantastic, because you can see that soon as forgiveness came, a new relationship began.
It really did, yeah. I couldn't make the connections until you are saying it now. It was a new day came. And sometimes I think maybe, we can look at time and say the new day is tomorrow. But even looking at like a new day did come. But it wasn't just, hey, it happened tomorrow because I chose to forgive. But the message, a new morning came out of that place. Yeah. And a new relationship was formed. And I wonder if there are people listening or watching now and going, yo, you brought mercy and forgiveness together. Like, it's hard to forgive. How do I forgive? But I actually think when you brought it full circle with God's love and the character and nature of God, it would be helpful for people to go, actually, let's go discover this, especially if we want to have that restorative womb, that new beginning, that new morning, that new mercy.
I think we all desire that, don't we? We all desire. There's an inbuilt desire in all of us to be fruitful. Yeah. To have a womb that is full of God's plans and thoughts and purposes that we're going to live out in his timing. But I think our wombs are empty because of the things that we are not allowing to happen. So I think unforgiveness, or not giving forgiveness is holding many people. So let's go back to our little story of the boy and the soccer field, in that we're blaming everyone else for kicking what is really ours around because we won't forgive. We blame. Oh no, it's your fault that you've done that. When it's run onto the field, forgive those 22 players or whatever for taking your ball. They probably didn't even know it was your ball in the first place, and just go and grab hold of what is yours.
Yeah.
That's deep.
And I think the story it was making me think about is, and I've actually been having this conversation with Wanga as well, is the story of Joseph. In the sense of, we were talking about it at youth at Blaze, and we're trying to make the connection with Jesus, and we're seeing that, hey, it actually has to do about the layers of forgiveness, is that Joseph went through a lot. We unpacked the depth of it. Okay. And when he forgave and showed mercy to his brothers, it brought a new beginning. That's when the family could come and be in unity. And then tying it with Jesus, we see the depths of the forgiveness, and that's the new beginning it brought in all of us. And that's the thing I see with mercy, is that it brings that new beginning. And we can see that throughout the Bible.
Yeah. That's great. So I think you could do a deeper dive into forgiveness. We've done it. We've preached and we've done series. We've even called it the F word.
Wow.
I wonder whose idea that is.
And we don't like the. I mean, we use the F word in the.
Didn't we call it the F bomb or something?
Oh, we did. We called it the F bomb or the F word or the whatever it is. That's right. So, okay, let's forge on, and you can write your comments. And questions in our comments, and see if we can unpack a few more things. But let's go to look at mercy and grace. Just a quick, both flowing from love. But mercy withholds what we deserve, And grace gives us the good things that we don't deserve.
Yes.
Mercy withholds what we do deserve, and grace gives us what we don't deserve.
Yeah.
But he gives us the good things of what we don't deserve.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing. So, I hope that helps.
I was going to say, just with what you've shared, I think when you understand the difference as well, because you were saying that sometimes we use them so interchangeably, but when you understand the difference of each, then you have a new revelation of it.
Yeah.
Because you actually did deserve this, but you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, there's a whole world of the good things that you get to step into now that weren't actually yours.
Yeah.
So I think going to the root of actually understanding mercy, grace, that helps me practically.
Good.
It does.
Good. I think you've got to grapple with it. And words create our worlds.
Yeah, they matter.
So, I think when we understand that we probably ask for mercy from others without forgiveness first. If I just go one step back, say, oh, bro, just have mercy. Let's say we caught in a speed trap. The first thing, what do? Oh, have mercy on me.
Yeah.
Instead of going, hey, I'm wrong. Please forgive me. I went over the speed limit. I'm wrong, and you should do this to me. But if you forgive me, you can give me mercy. Now that's a whole lot of things. So that's a practical. But now put it into whatever of a relational issue. Do we say, oh, I'm sorry? And I've always said sorry, smorry. Sorry is not thing, because most times we'll say sorry because we were caught. Not because we need we desire mercy, a new beginning, and I'm wrong, so please forgive me.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, I'm sorry I hurt you, Joy, I should say, Joy, I was a real, please forgive me for what I did or said to you. And if you forgive me, you'll give me mercy, which is a new beginning. So in other words, you'll trust me again and we'll walk on.
That's a lot harder.
100%.
Yeah, it's easy just to
It's
say I'm
so
sorry.
much harder.
Yeah.
But
It's easy to say, I'm sorry, I walk away, and
That's it.
I've dealt with it. You actually haven't dealt with it.
Yeah.
And I think even in the way that you phrased it, the heart behind will you versus I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because there's a difference there.
There is a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think these are practical things. I remember teaching this to my kids, actually, because I had to learn that. But even in our marriage, it was just going like, I can't just say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt you, Andy. No, it's that I'm deeply hurt by the fact that I've hurt you. I'm wrong. Please forgive me for hurting you.
Yeah.
And if you will forgive me, there will be mercy that will come. That is restorative. That will then be a new womb that will bring forth greater intimacy. But I think in our marriages, so those who are listening in marriages or in relationships or even in partnerships and businesses and stuff, we'll quickly say, I'm sorry, but am I so deeply affected by this that I realize it's my sin? Please forgive me, God.
Yeah,
please forgive me, Wanga.
Because most of the times we just sorry we got caught, not really because there's a
sorry.
I had a thing with the other day in my neighborhood, and they put up on a WhatsApp about a bucky that was flying through our neighborhood, and it turned into 589 Xenia, and I go like, that's me.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to go, guys, I'm deeply sorry for that. I will deal with it. So you go to the driver of that vehicle, and he goes, oh, I'm sorry. And I said, no, you're sorry you got caught. That's, but how are you going to get to a place where you're going to go, actually, I don't want to do that again, because please forgive me.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, there's a new start, So I think that maybe that we didn't intend to go there, but let's move on. I don't know, time-wise, how are we doing, Warren, in our time? Yo! Okay, let's go on. So we talked about that. Mercy withholds what we deserve. Grace gives us what we don't deserve, and both flow from love. So let me ask this question, and we can shift it. How does mercy fit into our world today? So now I want to move towards the prayer and to going like that. So we've grappled a little bit with mercy. understanding where it is. But how does it fit in our world today?
I actually thought of this a little bit, especially heading into prayer, more so in the scripture you're using there with Daniel. Because, like you say, the interesting thing is that he doesn't ask specifically for a specific thing. He asked God for mercy. And I thought, actually, what does it say about the power of God? So the Babylonian king in one area, he's dependent on the wise people that can interpret and all of these things. On the other hand, Daniel depended on mercy. And for me, I think there's quite a cultural, like every one of us right now, we're looking at whether it might be powers that be, it might be this, it might be that. But actually, what would it look like to be a people that go, we are dependent on the mercy? I don't know, we're looking at the mercy, because that's what Daniel rather went for.
I like that, because the thing around that Daniel, he said, let's seek mercy so that we are not destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
With all the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, well, he had a heart for the others. So when I was writing that, actually,
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
was that I wrote there, so that's going back to Daniel 2. Joy would know this from Brazil, because I was in Brazil and I was writing some notes around this and my meditations, and I said, no one can interpret the dream. So no one could, so all men had to die. All the wise men had to die. But one man could, all men live.
Yeah.
And I realized there's the gospel.
Yeah.
Because,
wow.
We all couldn't, so we all had to die. No one could, so all had to die. Yeah. But one could, Jesus Christ, so all could live.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay? So into that context, it's incredible that this is a picture of Christ. Daniel is this great picture of Christ, but it's the one that we need to emulate. We need to be like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like when no one can, one can.
Yeah.
Come on.
So that all can live. So here we are in a nation where literally 80% of our nation is being destroyed through poverty. But 20% of us, I'm just going in broad figures of what's been given, but say 20% of us may have that 80% don't have. But what are we doing so that all can have? Or are we just going, let's just look after ourselves? Imagine if Daniel had come to his mates and said, guys, all the wise men are going to die. We're all going to die with them, okay? Because we don't know. But let's go and seek God so that we know, so they can all die.
And we can live.
And we can live.
Yeah.
They didn't think about that.
Yeah.
His heart was so that let's go and hear God. Let's seek mercy so that we can hear, so that all can live.
Wow.
And I go like, how is that for the church today? Is that we could go and seek mercy, not just for ourselves, but so that all of South Africa can live.
Yeah.
In other words, how do we address poverty in this nation? And it's a massive thing. Corruption. We're being destroyed. I just read a statistic, is that 11,000 children are dying. School kids. School children. 11,000 school kids are dying of hunger every year in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's that? Now, let's not talk about sickness. That right now, there was a report that if you get cancer today and don't have a private medical aid, South Africa cannot treat it. The medical situation right now. Now that means that if you get cancer, and there's many other diseases and that, literally you're going to die. So when I look at Daniel 2 and going like, we who have this opportunity to seek mercy and be a solution and act in mercy to a nation, could we be a church where no one can, one can because Christ can, so that all can live? So it's filling me with hope and faith to go, God,
it's so good, Craig.
Actually, there is something here that God is stirring in our hearts, I think.
Yeah, and we can be so indifferent to what is happening. I mean, if you look at the stats, I'm just thinking now, because Stats SA just brought out the new 2025 stats, if you haven't checked them out. But it's actually true. One of those stats is that I think it's 7.9% of us pay tax or something like that.
Yeah.
So you've got less than 10% carrying
90%.
and 90%. And But actually, I wonder what that could look like if we coming as a community and going, it's not because we've messed up or it's not because it's this person to blame, but actually we're looking to mercy, not just looking to some system to come and solve our problem.
Yeah, I think our country and as people, I think we're stuck in the hurt of like we've been hurt by all these things, corruption, things that have happened to us directly. So it's more becomes like an individual focused thing. Okay, I'm just going to work on my own.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and do my own thing. And if it affects them, cool, that's it. And I think it's shifting to a place of, hey, acknowledging we can't do this on our own. And we actually do need to think about everyone else and let us look to the one that can bring that restorative womb to our nation.
Isn't it? Daniel saw himself as the place that, or the person in the community. Because he didn't just go to himself either. He went to a community of friends. It was his Hebrew mates. And I'm going like, would we be the people from beyond? That would come from, because that's what Hebrew means, a person from beyond. And I'm going like, would we be a people that come from beyond? Beyond this and come back and bring. One of the leading voices, a sociologist, what's his name, Francis Cronier, is it?
I think that's it,
Yeah. I mean, I heard an interview and he was talking about that. He was saying South Africans are the most resilient people on the planet. We have gone through, COVID, we've gone through riots, we've gone through blackouts, we've gone through, and we managed to still have business and we still have medical, but it's only to the 20%. And he's going like, so even amongst whatever happens in this nation, 20% of us, the kind of more the top, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But it's the 80% that are going to suffer. And I go like, so are we going to be a people that go like, we're fine. Bad luck if you're poor. And I'm going, but isn't that the very thing that actually God's mercy is for those? So that's where I want to get to, actually, to drill down to say, mercy should be, it's not just for the rich or the privileged. Actually, God's mercy was for the sinner and for the broken and for the poor and for the marginalized. Actually, that's where mercy should be. And that's why we have Botshabelo, because if you talk about the restorative womb,
it's exactly that.
It's a refuge, a place of refuge, a haven. So when we named Botshabelo, it was because we had been prophesied that we'd be a city of refuge, which is in line with how God said. He said, hey, when you get into the land, set up cities of refuge that people can run to. And so we looked at that, and I remember the day, it was like, hey, we need a name for our non-profit organization. And everyone was asking me, and I was standing in the kitchen, and I said, well, we could call it a place of refuge, but that, and then I was like, a place to run to. And so I remember the lady that was working in our kitchen, Connie, and I turned to her and I said, Connie, what is a word for refuge? And she looked at me, and then I said, what is a word for, like a place you can run to? Oh, she says, Botshabelo, a place you can run to, a refuge. And I go, actually, that's mercy. It's a safe haven, it's a womb, it's a restorative place. So we've seen that over 25 years, babies that have been discarded have been brought into a restorative womb, a new place, a city of refuge, that they can be then adopted into a family. It takes time. It is sometimes a little bit frustrating, but there it is. Now 20 years later, we're seeing these 20, 21, 22-year-old adults walking back in and saying, you rescued us 20 odd years ago.
Wow.
And you've given me hope. And now they're speaking Swedish or German or English, whatever it is. And I go like, that is mercy. It's not a once-off act. It's a kind of it's a new beginning. Hey, we've all done that, isn't it? In terms of those who've come to Christ, the first thing we find is a fresh new beginning, where grace and faith and all of this collide in a moment where salvation comes and we have a fresh new start.
Just when you were talking about that, reminds me of Micah 6:8.
Yes, great verse.
He has told you, oh man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice, to love mercy, and walk humbly with God. And it's such a simple but yet challenging thing.
It is
to live out.
Yeah,
but
I was going to finish with that. Maybe we should just finish it. But
we didn't give each other notes.
It's a challenge, but
you can go there, Craig.
Let's just come back to, because Warren preached out of Isaiah 10 and 11, and the beginning of chapter 10 in Isaiah. It says, "Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees, and the writers who keep writing oppression, to turn aside the needy from justice, and to rob the poor of my people of their right, that widows may be their spoil, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. What will you do on the day of punishment, in the ruin that will come from afar? To whom will they flee for help?" Now, this is the prophet, and he's going, you who are privileged, let's just keep it in our language today, the privileged are robbing the poor.
Sure.
That's our nation. When government officials in here in Gauteng, where we are based, the medical MECs and all of them robbed 1.2 billion rand so that there cannot be medical care in our hospitals here in Gauteng, because they've robbed it. So now the poor and the needy, those who are looking for justice and for medical help and for that, they can't get it because it's been stolen.
Yeah.
Look what the plight we're in. Now, the hope for me, and I mean not the hope, the great thing is that God will bring justice. So poor those people who have done it, because, man, the justice of God, unless they repent. But only God can do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But for us, I think as we come back to how do we embody this and bring this into a prayer moment, we got to go, I think we need to see it as it is, and then go seek mercy.
Yeah.
God, would you bring mercy to this nation, to this province, to this city?
Yeah.
Would you bring mercy?
Yeah.
To restore, and that mercy may be in the thing. God, would you bring good mayors to our city that would bring about mercy and justice? Isn't that? I think, not about. I don't want to become political.
Yeah.
Because I want to actually. I want to stand up and say, and I think most of you guys,
2026 is coming. You wanna put a party down there.
I want to, but actually we can't.
Yeah.
Not as believers, but what we can do is seek mercy.
Yeah.
I think I'm constantly thinking of the scripture that says we're in this world, but we are not of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that reminder, because we live in a world that I think Cam was just saying just now, that we can be so individualistic that we forget that we're actually placed within communities, within groups, within the connections that we have to make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's not somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Same way that Daniel was able to come to his friends in this case. And I think the word that also stood out to me is that he made it known. He told them about the issue. The thing is, we kind of stop there. We make it known, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Poverty, corruption.
Yeah.
But do we then go seek mercy?
Yeah.
Or does it stop there?
Yeah.
And it's practical.
Yeah.
Seeking mercy is practical.
And what I think is so beautiful as well, when you look at what was in front of them, it looked impossible.
It did.
To now figure out this dream.
No, it was impossible.
And all this, and through them seeking God's mercy, the new beginning came about.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at our country, we think, it's impossible. But we don't understand what God can do when we just seek His mercy.
Yeah. It does look impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does, and it's wonderful. So then just to move on, and that's, I think the thing that's been in my thoughts, and that is, it's even when God's people was being oppressed by the Egyptians, and he heard their cry. Exodus 2:23 says, "And those in many days the king of Egypt died, and the people of Israel groaned because of their slavery and cried out for help. Their cry for rescue from slavery came up to God, and God heard their groaning, and God remembered His covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and with Jacob. And God saw the people, and God knew." And I go like, the groan of people, are we, groaning on behalf of our people, not just ourselves? Because like, oh God, I need another, and it's helped me get a better parking and live a better life and everything. But are we are we truly asking God on behalf of this nation to hear our prayer and the oppression, and He hears the prayer of the afflicted. He hears the prayer of the afflicted. In fact, I think his ears tuned more to this kind of prayer than to God give me a better parking.
True.
Yeah.
Or another, an increase. Or no, I mean, that sounds terrible, but God wants to promote and do all of that, and He'll do that. But I wonder if we just need to hear the plight of the afflicted. Okay? Another quick thought, let's turn off so we can close it out, and that is just to remember that Jesus is the ultimate expression of God's mercy.
Beautiful.
So I think we can talk all about it, but actually the greatest example of mercy is Jesus. So if we look into the Gospels and we just see there's the embodiment of mercy. It's like when He came, the things He did, what He said. It's an expression of God's mercy. It's His supreme acts of mercy. So He touched the leper when the lepers shouldn't be touched. He spat and He did some, but it was this empathy, compassion, His forgiveness, even when they, on the cross, all that they did, spat, jeered, mocked, He forgave.
Yeah.
And because of that, we have God's mercy upon all of us. One man could. One man, God-man, did, so all men can live. We go like, this is it. So again, let's just look
to Jesus.
Because I think we can get lost in all of the other, but Jesus is our greatest example, I think. Yeah.
I think as you're sharing as well, what I'm realizing is how practical Jesus was and how practical we should be as well.
That's great. I love it. Yeah. I think we can get all religious and we can, let's start another MPO. No, actually, you don't need an MPO. What you need is just action of mercy. Because I think that's the thing is mercy in action is where we should go. And I don't want to hey, look what we've done, urban life and that. But I've always said, I think we punch bigger than our weight or further than our reach in the sense of that, because we don't go, look what we've done. But I do want to say is that 25 years of action in mercy. In other words, we haven't just sort of said, hey, look at all of the abandoned babies and look at the plight of education. And like you've said, it's like, let's make everyone aware of it. We've actually gone, we know that that's there. Let's do something about it. Yeah, let's be an active, actioning people rather than, I think we've got to speak and act. But we probably act more than we speak. Well, let me say, amongst my friends, I speak a lot and shout a lot and get angry. And like, have you seen, But I think that that's the safe place that God has given to us here at Umla. But it's not mercy is not a commodity. So I'm holding up a bottle of water. Mercy is a characteristic in nature. It is an action. It's got to come from deep within. It comes because of love. Mercy goes.
True.
I don't trade in mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said this: mercy is a force of good in your hood.
I think I'm going to take that.
You say that, Tupac.
That somebody was me, but
somebody.
Was that you?
Mercy is a force of good in the hood. And actually, if every church, if every believer just decided, let mercy become an action, a force of good in the hood. Boom. Hey?
Goodness and mercy.
Goodness and mercy.
Follow me every time I turn around.
All right, last one. Joshua 2. This is incredible. Joshua 2 and verse, 12 to 13. And this is Rahab and the spies. And it says, and then please swear to me by the Lord that as I have dealt kindly with you, you will also deal kindly with my father's house, and give me a sure sign that you will save alive my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and deliver our lives from death. And the man said to her, our life for yours, even to death. So these are the spies. They've come in, they're about to get caught. Rahab hides them. It's an act of mercy. She puts them into a covered place, into a safe place, saves their lives. And then she says, because I did this, will you be merciful? And here it is, not just to me, my mom, my dad, my cat and mouse and everything, the household. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And I go like, here is that mercy is extended to, and you see the outcome of that. Mercy is extended because you mercy. Go back to the Beatitudes, the one you read. What was it?
Yeah. Blessed are those that are merciful, they shall receive mercy.
I was just wondering if, like, hey, we want mercy, but we need to give mercy. So it's this: is it the chicken or the egg? Which came first? Yeah. God, yes, is merciful. I received mercy. I give mercy. I get mercy. It's incredible, eh? And then I was going to finish up with Micah 6 verse 8. Mercy and justice. But any other questions? Anything that I should have said? Warren, anything we should have done and covered? Did we do out of 10? What did we do? You just give us a quick. Yeah.
They say 10.
Great out of 10. We'll take it.
Great out of 10. Great out of 10.
We'll take it.
I like it.
You say great out of 10.
But anything just as a closing comment, what should we have said that we didn't say?
I think the only thing I can think of that's really cool with this, especially going into prayer this week, or the Daniel story, is mercy is not just, we're bending the rules into our favor, but actually what happens right after that moment is a revealing of what humans cannot know. And I'm just going, actually, maybe God wants to reveal something in our country, in our communities, and we come humbly and seek mercy, and then something gets uncovered. So I've got hope for something new to come out of that, something that we wouldn't figure out in our own strength, even with the best strategists in the world and wise people in the world.
Yeah. So go get into that intimate place with God.
Yeah.
In that safe place, in a place of refuge, and say, oh God, would you birth in me something that would bring about a new beginning for others.
Yeah.
And if we all did that, I think we would, a river would begin to flow. Yeah. Cam, anything? Any question, any thought?
No, the only other thought I had was just thinking of the Rahab, in them showing Rahab mercy as well. I think the new beginning showed much later on that she was part of the genealogy of Jesus, which I think that's so profound as well. Like, I think we might not even see things right now, but if we are still a merciful people, we don't know what could come even past our lifetime. Wow. And I think that's exciting, and that's hope. Like,
in other words, what I do today may be seen generations to come.
Come on.
And we don't have to be this people that, it must happen right now. Let's have faith in God.
Well, it goes to that. Doesn't it say that when God reveals himself and he says, and I'm merciful to 1,000 generations, is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Is that all right?
Warren?
Yeah, that's your favorite text. Yeah, what is it? Come on. But what's it, number 6, bud?
That's right.
Judgment goes for a while, but the mercy goes for way longer.
Yeah. Judgment for a while, but mercy is, beautiful, eh? Yeah. Hey, imagine if we just captured that. It just got like... The more I access that mercy's new every morning, my kids, my grandkids, and great-grand, and the generations could... I think I'm living in part of that, out of my 5th generation, minister of the gospel. Sure. Yeah. My great-great-grandfathers put into the soils of this spiritual world that I live in today. Yeah. Joy?
Sure. For me, I think the question that I asked about what does mercy bring, and I'm realizing it's not just about you. There's a bigger picture. How does it impact others? I loved what you shared just now about the 1,000 generations, because I'm constantly reminded for myself that I'm probably the answered prayer, or get to experience some of the answered prayer of my previous grandmothers. And
Wow.
so it's so much bigger than you. So I think for me particularly, it's what prayers are you praying going into prayer? What prayers are you praying, and is it limited to you, or are you looking at the bigger picture?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. Hey?
Yeah.
And thanks, Joy, Wanga,
Thank you.
Cam, for being part of the Supplement podcast.
This
I
is
hope you
awesome.
enjoyed
For
it.
having us.
Thanks
yeah.
for listening or watching. It's been great. And then let's make this a focus of our prayer and if you catch this after the first Wednesday, it's okay.
Yeah.
Still pray.
Just keep at it. And we'll see you on the next supplement. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.